Not all animals are cute and cuddly. Some of them can be outright deadly. But if you think that sharks and crocs are dangerous, wait until you see the animals on this list. Today we're going to be talking about the most dangerous animals in the world. Number 5. Assassin bugs. Assassin bugs are little things, but boy are they nasty. At least they are if you happen to be an insect they're considered to be prey. Or indeed a rat or a bird, seeking to convert one into lunch. The name of the bugs, which covers about 300 species clustered into the family of Reduviidae, already implies that they are not to be trifled with. The way an assassin bug feeds is the stuff of B-grade science fiction. Using its trademark strong proboscis, otherwise known as a rostrum, the bug impales its prey and then injects venom-laced saliva. This serves two gruesome purposes. First, it paralyzes the victim, and then it liquefies his internal organs, allowing the assassin bug to suck it all out. A 1978 study of a US assassin species observed that the strategy was so successful the bug was able to ingest as much as 99% of the live weight of its victim. But this is not the reason why these tiny assassins are dangerous to humans. The assassin bug transmits a dangerous parasite through its feces. This parasite will then cause a condition known as Chagas disease. Chagas disease presents itself in two phases. The initial acute phase lasts for about 2 months after infection. During the acute phase, a high number of parasites circulate in the blood. However, in most cases, symptoms are absent or mild and also unspecific. They may, however, suffer from fever, headache, enlarged lymph glands, pallor, muscle pain, difficulty in breathing, swelling, and abdominal or even chest pain. During the chronic phase, the parasites are hidden mainly in the heart and digestive muscles. Up to 30% of patients suffer from cardiac disorders, and in later years the infection can lead to sudden death due to cardiac arrhythmias or progressive heart failure caused by the destruction of the heart muscle and its nervous system. If not treated immediately, Chagas disease can be a lifelong affliction, and unfortunately, there is still no vaccine for the disease. The best way to prevent this deadly disease is to control the population of the assassin bugs that carry them. Fortunately, these insects aren't that plentiful in modern urban areas in developed countries. Despite that, though, the deadly Chagas disease still claims up to 10,000 lives every year. Number 4. TSETSE flies. A bite from a TSETSE fly is an extremely unpleasant experience. It's not like a mosquito, which can furrow its thin mouthpart directly into your blood, often without you noticing. In contrast, the TSETSE fly's mouth has tiny serrations on it that saw into your skin on its way out to suck your blood. To make matters worse, several species of TSETSE fly can transmit diseases. One of the most dangerous is a parasite that causes sleeping sickness, or human African trypanosomiasis, to give its official name. Without treatment, the infection is usually fatal. There are two closely related single-celled parasites that cause this deathly sleep. The first being Trypanosoma brucei rhodesiense and TB gammaense. The latter is far more prevalent, and it's responsible for up to 95% of cases, mostly in Western Africa. It can take up to several years to kill a person, while the former can cause death within months. After the initial bite, sleeping sickness symptoms often start with a fever, headaches, and aching muscles. As the illness goes on, those infected become increasingly tired, which is where it gets its name. Personality changes, poor coordination, and severe confusion can also happen. Nowadays, sleeping sickness is no longer as deadly as it once was. In the early 20th century, several 100,000 people were infected each year. By the 60s, the disease was considered under control and had reached very low numbers. This in turn made it very difficult to spread. But in the 70s, there was another major epidemic, which took 20 years to control. The reason sleeping sickness is so deadly is that it can enter the brain. There it caused its most severe symptoms such as confusion, hallucinations, and poor coordination. Once in the brain, it becomes harder to treat and therefore more likely to be fatal. Doctors think of this as the second stage of the disease, the first being when it infects the blood. Although not as deadly as it once was, the TSETSE fly and the dreaded sleeping sickness still claim more than 10,000 lives every year. Number 3. Dogs. Okay, yeah, I know it's difficult to wrap your heads around it, especially for us dog lovers out there, but your loyal canine friend is actually more dangerous than you think. Dogs can carry disease and can also easily transmit them to humans. Most of these diseases come in the form of parasites like tapeworms, hookworms, and roundworms, but these conditions can be easily treated. However, there is one disease that's infamous for the pain and the anguish that it causes, not only to the dog owner, but to the dog as well. Rabies is a serious disease that is caused by a virus. It is mainly a disease of animals, but humans can also get rabies when animals infected with the disease bite them. The virus is transmitted to humans through the infected animal's saliva, like an infected dog's bite. Symptoms can appear as soon as a few days after being bitten by an infected animal. However, in most cases, symptoms may not appear until weeks or even months later. One of the most unique symptoms of rabies infection is a tingling or twitching sensation in the area around the animal bite. After the virus leaves the local bite area, it travels up to a nearby nerve to the brain and can cause such symptoms as pain, fatigue, fever, weakness, agitation, and hallucinations. Most worryingly, people or even dogs with rabies often show an unusually high level of aggression. In later stages, when the virus has thoroughly spread throughout the victim's nervous system, one can suffer from double vision, difficulty in swallowing, and the overproduction of saliva, giving us the disturbing image of a rabies victim foaming at the mouth, and weirdly, an aversion to water. Fortunately, rabies vaccines are readily available and are almost always never fatal, but the dangers of dogs don't stop there. Thousands of dog attacks and maulings are reported yearly all over the world, some of which end up in fatalities. That's not to say that your pet has a high tendency to bite a chunk off your arm, but there are certain breeds that lean toward aggressiveness. All in all, around 25,000 people fall victim to either attacks or rabies every year, caused by man's supposedly best friend. Number 2. Snakes. Indiana Jones' healthy fear of snakes was totally warranted, as serpents are the second most deadly creatures in the world. Though the chances of dying from a snake bite in the US are near zero, other regions don't have immediate access to high-quality medical care. There's literally just two ways for snakes to kill: by asphyxiation and by venom. Now, human fatalities via snake asphyxiation are rare, and it's actually more likely for a person to get bitten by a shark than be squeezed to death by an anaconda. But in some rural areas where snakes large enough to swallow a full-grown man, yeah, that's been known to happen a bit more. Venomous snakes are infinitely more dangerous than their non-venomous cousins. Funny thing is, most snake bites aren't the snake's fault at all, as the majority of snake bites occur when people mishandle them or don't give them the space that they deserve. There are generally three types of snake venom: cytotoxins, neurotoxins, and hemotoxins. Neurotoxins are chemical substances that are poisonous to the nervous system. They work by reducing or disrupting chemical signals sent between neurons. They cause muscle paralysis, which may also result in respiratory difficulty and even death. Hemotoxins are blood poisons that disrupt the normal blood coagulation process. These substances work by causing red blood cells to burst open. This then interferes with blood clotting factors and by causing tissue death and organ damage. Destruction of red blood cells and the inability of blood to clot cause serious internal bleeding. Cytotoxins are the deadliest of them all. These substances destroy body cells, a condition known as necrosis. These toxins actually help partially digest a snake's prey even before it swallows it. A species of snake may have one or a combination of two or all of these toxins in their venom. However, they aren't as deadly as the number one creature on this list, only causing around 50,000 yearly fatalities worldwide.
Before we move on, do me a favor. My analytics show that only about 15% of you watching are actually subscribed. Come on guys, what's up with that? Can you guys please hit the subscribe button? You guys watch my videos every day anyway, so you might as well subscribe and keep up to date with every video we put out.
Number 1. Mosquitoes. I mean, really, would there be any other creature on Earth, whether large or small, more dangerous than the infamous mosquito? Small as they might be, they number in the billions and can be found in every continent in the world, except for Antarctica. This is because how easily they can reproduce. Female mosquitoes will lay eggs in stagnant water. It doesn't matter how much or how little the water is, how clean or dirty it is, as long as it's not flowing. Then it's the perfect nursery for the tiny mosquito babies. A single female mosquito can lay up to 500 eggs at a time and can lay eggs up to 10 times in its lifespan. Eggs hatch in about 48 hours and will reach maturity in only about 2 weeks, at which point their life cycle starts over. Male mosquitoes are more of a nuisance than a threat. They live for one purpose and one purpose only, and that is to mate. Females, on the other hand, are the deadly ones. They're the ones who bite and suck blood. Although both male and female mosquitoes primarily feed on nectar, females need blood in order to reproduce. They can drink up to 3 times their own body weight in blood, which is actually relative to their size, so it's not that much. In fact, even 1 million mosquitoes won't be able to drink it dry. Then again, the danger they pose isn't all about the loss of blood, it's about what they leave inside your body during the act of feeding. Mosquitoes are known carriers of disease and viruses, most of which are extremely deadly. First up is the Zika virus, and for most folks the symptoms from the virus are mild, simply a fever, rash, joint pain, and red eyes. The real danger may be pregnant women and their babies. It's linked to a birth defect called microcephaly, which causes small heads and brain damage. Mosquitoes spread this disease in many parts of the world, including Brazil and other countries in South and Central America, the Caribbean, and Southeast Asia. Perhaps the more popular one, though, is malaria. It hardly ever happens in the US, but nearly half the world's population lives at risk of catching this disease. Most cases occur in sub-Saharan Africa, but transmission occurs also in South America, South Asia, and many other regions. The symptoms include fever, headache, chills, and vomiting. There are more, and any one of these diseases can cause death if left untreated. These tiny insects are so dangerous that they cause around 1 million fatalities worldwide every year, something that can be prevented by the simple act of sleeping under a mosquito net. Which dangerous animal gives you nightmares? Let us know in the comment section down below. Want to watch more videos about dangerous animals from the safety of your own home? Click on any of the videos you see on your screen. As always, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Later, everybody.